Today we're going to look at how to prepare a logo so it looks good on your Axcitement system. Most logos are done in black, or at least a lot of them are, so you can print them on a t-shirt or on a piece of paper, a stationery or letterhead, whatever. But since we're projecting onto a black background, we really can't use a black logo because it would disappear in there unless there's a big white box around it, and that doesn't look good. So here we have a generic logo that we have whooped up, and the first thing we want to do is get rid of the background. And so I'm using Photoshop, but there's other softwares that can do this. And I'm going to click, well, the first thing I actually have to do is I have to take this and make it a layer from the background. So now it's a layer so I can work with it. And then I can delete the background. So all the stuff you see checkerboard here is going to be transparent. When you do things like that, you want to take a look at some of the smaller places like inside the P and inside the A. I may have to use my magic wand and choose those in order to get rid of the white space there. So all of this is transparent. I'm going to leave it up in the actual circle, but I'm also going to clear out the ones that are here in this line and also take out the 0 in the 2021. So now that I have that done, I have the logo sitting there where it is a transparent logo. The thing I want to do is switch the black into a white. And so an easy way to do that in Photoshop is I go to Image Adjustments, and there's an option that says Invert. And so when you invert, first off, you have to make sure that you're not selected anything, and you can select all, and then I'd go Image, Adjustments, Invert, and now everything is reversed from what it used to be. Now that doesn't appear to be very white. It's kind of a gray because that was kind of a dark gray to start with, so now we have a light gray. So we can go to Image Adjustments of Brightness and Contrast, and you can see that by moving the contrast around, we can take that up brighter, take the white up brighter. So now we've got a real white on black type look there. Okay, so we're going to assume that we're pretty good with that. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit just to see. And so now there is our image. Now to make sure it's going to look good, what we can do is we can add another layer, and we're going to take that layer and we're going to paint it black. Now that layer is in front of our logo, so we're going to make it so it's behind the logo, and that's what it basically should look like when it is, let's show it in actual pixels, when it's actually on the screen. So that's one way of doing it. Is if it's an all black logo, you can invert it. Now another option with logos is you're going to have some logos that have, again, a lot of white space on them, and we want to get rid of the white, but we don't want to invert this. That wouldn't look good. So the other thing we can do, we're going to make a layer from the background of that. Okay, then I'm going to go in with my tools, and I am going to take out the background again, and also remembering to take out the little things by the inside the letters, the A's and the P's and the top of the E here. So there's also a space right here, so I got to remember to take out that. So now I've taken out all that. Let's add the extra layer. So we're going to add the black layer to it. There we go. Add a black layer, and then we're going to pull it behind the other one. So you can see that on black this isn't going to look good. It also showed me I missed a little white space over here. So now I'm going to switch back to that layer that I'm working on, and I'm going to get rid of that as well. So it's kind of dark here, but we don't want to invert everything. So another option is called a stroke. So if we go to this layer, and you can do a layer style and stroke you can add. Now here it defaults to red, but we can change it so it's a white stroke. So we're going to change it to a white stroke, and then we can change up the size. Maybe we make it up to a 5 or 6 or something like that. If you make it too big, it's going to have that look, and maybe you want that. but let's say we want it to be a 6, just so it's enough outline so when we're putting that on a black background, that's going to pop for us. So after we have it to how we want it, either by inverting it or by putting a stroke on it or adjusting colors, whatever you want to do, you think it's going to look good on black, then we're going to get rid of our black layer and we're going to select the section that we want. So we're going to trim this in so it's kind of tight here, giving us just enough room so we don't cut off the stroke. And we're going to crop it down to that. Let's check the image size, because the size of your logo, this thing is 1630, so that's really big. We don't need it that big. So if you take them to anywhere about 500, 600, you're pretty much going to be good. So this is going to be 600 pixels wide by 380 pixels long. So now that I've got it in that size, now we're going to save it. So I'm doing File, Save As, and we're going to choose to save it as a PNG. So that's going to be a transparent PNG, and we will call this Lumberjack Axe Logo.png. Okay, so we're saving that somewhere on our desktop, and we're not going to worry about the interlace thing. So now we have that done. The next thing we want to do is put this out on the internet someplace where then we can tell our computer to go look for it. There's many places you can put it. Perhaps you have your own web page. A lot of web pages are made with WordPress. So if you're using a WordPress page, it's pretty easy. In order to put an image out there, you just go into your admin, and off media you can select what file you want to upload. And this is going to be true basically with any type of software you're using. You just want to get this thing uploaded someplace. And so here is my PNG. I want to make sure I don't send up the JPEG, because the JPEG has all the white. This is my transparent one here, and that's sized to 600 by 382, you can see, while this other one is a lot bigger. That's 1800. So that's the one we want to send up, and we're going to say OK, and it's going to send that file up, and here it is. Okay, so after you have the file on your system, then all you have to do is find out what is the URL of that image. Well, luckily that's real easy to do, so it uploaded the image here. If I just click on it, I can see over here it gives me the file URL. So this file is right here, okay? And you can even copy that to clipboard. So now that I've copied it to clipboard, I can go put it someplace where I can remember it. Let's just open up Notepad and paste it into there so we can take a good look at that URL. So here we go, and we're going to paste that in there. So that is the URL. So now all you have to do is go into your program and type that in for where your logo is, because that's where it is out on the internet. So to do that, you're going to go into your admin using your Control M and then your code, whatever it happens to be. And then you are going to go to Settings. And when you go to Settings, you'll see there's a thing that says Logo Settings, and it's going to ask for the image URL. So here you have to type it exactly the way it shows up on your piece of paper or your notepad that you put it on. So I'm going to go back to my notepad here so you can see it's https:// there, axcitement.com, WP content, etc., etc. Now I'm going to cheat right here, and I'm just going to copy this. All right, but you won't really have that ability unless you have the image actually published and go into the Chrome browser. But if you just type that in exactly like it is. Now I want to point out something very important. You can see here that for the name I have a capital L and a capital A, right, in the name here. So we're going to get that out of the way. We're going to put the URL in here. We're going to paste it in, and you will see that if I make that a small l instead of a capital L, and I say get image, it's not going to find it. So it's just giving me a big question mark here. In web pages, On Windows, it doesn't matter. But if you're on a Unix system, which most of your WordPress pages are, they are case sensitive for URLs. So you want to make sure that anything that is capital or lowercase, you match it exactly. Now that I put back my capital L in there and I say get image, there it is. So that's what the preview looks like. Let's apply it, and now we'll say done. So now I have this logo here. Now we can go in and we can edit positions. I'm going to go for large increments. I'm going to choose the logo, and I am going to send that up because I want this to be in the upper left hand corner. We're going to move it over there a little bit, go here. We're going to take our game board is down there. Our main menu is here. Let's move that down to the right a little bit and down. And then let's go back to our logo. And I'm going to take the logo and I'm going to make it a little bigger. And let's drop it a little bit. In fact, let's stretch it out a little bit. We're going to make it a little wider and move it to the right. And when I'm done with all that, I hit close, and there's my logo on my screen. If it doesn't look right, you can add more stroke, change it accordingly, but that is how you make a logo and then install it onto your system. And now that it's on there, it'll stay. You don't have to even keep it on the internet. You could go delete it from your WordPress page if you want now. So that's how to put logos up there. Just make sure that you match the case exactly if it's a Unix machine. Type in the URL where you put the image and you're good to go.